Welcome to the Herd's official YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the Colin Cowherd podcast, all of our NFL instant reactions, and more football content. Oh, it is a Monday, not just any Monday. There'll be a Game 7, 2 Monday Night Football games off a wild weekend. We're live. We're in Chicago. It's the Herd, wherever you may be. However you may be watching or listening, whatever platform it is, thanks for making Monday and us part of your day. 1 hour from now, where Colin was right, where Colin was wrong. Again, a Game 7 tonight, Jays and Mariners. Seattle trying to get to their first World Series. A couple of Monday Night Football games. J-Mac, really fun weekend. Really good Sunday. You know, we complain that we don't love 2 Monday Night Football games because it takes so many good games out of the weekend, but that late window yesterday was nuts. But let's start with the early window. Folks, it's 2018 and 2019 again. Patrick Mahomes completed passes to 9 different tight ends or wide receivers. Their speed is everywhere. Playmakers everywhere. 32 points a game in the last month. I hate to inform the rest of the NFL, but this is now once again the best offense, the best coach, the best quarterback, and the most flexible. 8, 9 different targets. Some are fast, some are possession, some are twitchy, some are big, some are tight ends, and the defense is remarkable. And here's the thing. Really smart people make mistakes. Yeah, but they're able to quickly identify those mistakes. They're able to let their ego not get in the way, and then they course correct very quickly. Kansas City, I believe, has rebuilt their offensive line 3 times in 5 years. I think they've rebuilt this receiving core 4 times in maybe 7 years. And now all of a sudden, it's the deepest receiving core in the NFL. And the Chiefs, and you saw this yesterday with the Rams, adaptable. They're not one thing. Puka Nakua's out, no big deal. We'll give 3 or 4 tight ends a look. And you look at Kansas City yesterday, Hollywood Brown, Worthy, Rice, Travis Kelce. I mean, Rashee Rice comes back, 10 targets. 10 targets. Mahomes and Rashee Rice haven't played in an actual game in like a year, and he's throwing no-look passes to him. And so I don't feel bad for the Chargers or Baltimore or Joe Burrow and the Bengals, although he's hurt this year. You know, all these teams had a chance. Kansas City was 3-3. They didn't have Rice. They didn't have Worthy. This was your time to make up ground on them. But right now, Kansas City's not only back, I think they're better than ever. They have drafted so well. This is the deepest, twitchiest, most unique wide receiving core, the best play designer, the best distributor. I watched yesterday, and I mean, it was like Mahomes was in a baseball cap in the 4th quarter. It's like they pulled their starting pitcher after a great 2-hitter, and he had a 6-run lead in the 7th inning, and he sat in the bench, the dugout, and watched. But I don't see a hole. I said this a month ago when they clobbered the Ravens. Everybody said, oh, the Ravens are beat up. That's not what I watched. Right now, they just keep adding elements. And I saw it with the Rams in Jacksonville. The smart teams in this league, they miss on draft picks. They make mistakes. They get players hurt. They have 2 and 3 game slumps. But they course correct. They identify mistakes quickly. Smart wins in this league. And I saw it in London with the Rams. I saw it with the Chiefs. A no-look pass to Rashee Rice. They haven't played together in a year. Only Andy Reid, and here's Mahomes after.
The no-look one, I kind of wanted to throw it to Rashee the whole time, but Xavier was kind of holding that flat defender with his release, and so the corner was kind of in between, and so just holding him and putting it in the spot at the right time. But when it comes to like the way he moves and the way he runs routes, I have a good feel for when he wants the football and where I need to throw it to, and so he's been working.
Well, the wildest game of the day is a team that is trying to supplant, catch, and beat in the AFC West. It involved the Denver Broncos, who for 3 quarters were unwatchable and were getting hammered 19-0 by the New York Giants. They came back to win a wild shootout. But what I really watched in this game and what I really saw, and I'm sure you saw, 2 franchise quarterbacks. Jackson Dart for the Giants was the better one early. Bo Nix was pretty special late. But that's what I saw. They're both a little uneven. They make mistakes. They have bad quarters, but both are confident, use their legs. Their coaches like them to use their legs. And, running quarterbacks, for the record, are very effective. In fact, it's Patrick Mahomes' breaking ball. It's what he uses in every big Super Bowl or AFC championship. So Jackson Dart, mobile, doesn't take his eyes off down the field. Same with Bo Nix. Bo Nix had 4 first downs running and 2 touchdowns. I don't know why Sean Payton doesn't run him more. They're both excellent at it. And when you're learning to decipher NFL defenses, pick up first downs. Russell Wilson did it. Mahomes did it. Lamar did it. You're good enough in the pocket, but you're not going to be great in the pocket because both Bo and Jackson Dart, unlike Mahomes, had to play like in September of their first year, right, with imperfect rosters. And neither one of them got, Andy Reid. So everybody keeps doubting Bo Nix because, like a lot of young quarterbacks, he's uneven. He just had the greatest quarter of any NFL football player ever, scoring 33 points. And it's like Klay Thompson. Remember, Klay Thompson once scored 37 points in a quarter. Remember that with the Warriors, 37 points? That doesn't make him better than Steph Curry or better than KD, but it makes him a Hall of Famer and it makes him a great player. Bo Nix is never going to be Mahomes. He doesn't have that ceiling. He's never going to be Josh Allen. He may never be Lamar or Justin Herbert. But he's Klay Thompson. He's going to be involved in championships. He's going to be involved in winning a lot of football games. And so that's what I see. Bo can be very, very hot and cold. But in the fourth quarter this year alone, Bo Nix has 3 game-winning drives. That is a season's worth. And he's still a kid. I would prefer a complete game. I would love a great first quarter and a great third quarter. Bo against really good teams, and the Giants defense is really good and was excellent for 3 quarters. That's not what he is yet. And by the way, the Jackson Dart drive on what we thought at the time was a game-winning drive. I thought it was so smart. I didn't love the PI call. In that kind of consequential moment, I don't like that PI call, but they called it. It is what it is. Peyton didn't like it either. But again, I thought Jackson Dart, here's what I really noticed with both these guys. Bo Nix and Jackson Dart. They're not overwhelmed by the moment. They're not rattled. They're not frenetic. They're actually, I think Bo Nix focuses better and is more confident trailing late. I think Jackson Dart, maybe it's great looking kid. I don't know what it is, but Jackson Dart never feels overwhelmed. And for the record, Bo Nix has more weapons and a better offensive line. So what Jackson Dart's doing, he's doing it. He's got Scatterboo, but Denver's got better players, better offensive line, more weapons, perceived as the better coach and play caller and play designer. So Jackson Dart shouldn't win this game. Jackson Dart shouldn't lead for 3 quarters. And Denver's defense is better than the Giants. So in a losing cause, I thought Jackson Dart was amazing. To go into Denver and to give the Broncos defense all sorts of trouble and to lead 19-9. If you'd have told me the Giants don't score 19 points in the total game before it started, I would have said, yeah, I can see that, 13, 14, 17 points. So, in a losing cause, if you're a Giants fan, you got your guy. You got your guy. He just needs a better O-line. He needs more help. Denver's got the better players. Denver's probably got the better coach. Denver's probably got the better general manager. Denver's definitely got more weapons. Mims and Sutton and Harvey and Ingram. Denver has a Super Bowl roster. The Giants don't. So I was blown away by both guys. I really was blown away by Jackson Dart, and I wasn't blown away with Bo Nix until the fourth quarter. But that was Klay Thompson scoring 37 and a quarter. You can stop arguing. Klay Thompson's great. He's not Curry, he's not KD, but 37 and a quarter. Not a lot of people on the planet ever can do that. And Bo Nix just had the greatest quarter of any player in league history. I'm sorry. That's hard to do. Even with Sean Payton as your coach. Here's Bo after.
Well, I was thinking about how I was going to answer questions if we got shut out. Not where you want to be. And, at some point I knew we've done it before in the fourth quarter. We're going to, at some point we're going to go down and score. Now, maybe too late. We may not score enough, but at some point we're going to do it. All of a sudden you go and, I don't even know how we scored 33 points in a quarter. That's kind of insane. But, it's just whatever we had to get done. We did it.
Yeah, he's a streaky shooter. I mean, he just gets into these moments. I do think, and I said this last week, use his legs. Brian Daboll has quickly identified Jackson Dart's mobility, and they are leaning into it. I would lean into Bo Nix's legs. When you're a young quarterback trying to figure out and decipher these NFL defenses, this is not college ball. The windows are tight. The DBs are better. The pass rush is bigger, better athletes. Things close quickly. Use the legs. Move the chains. Extend drives. All right, J-Mac, the Bears have themselves a little winning streak in Chicago.
Here we go. Your Chicago Bears just getting turnovers against bad teams. Let's celebrate, Colin. Woo!
Well, I will say this. The Bears have reached a point that is the ultimate respect in the NFL. And I'll tell you where that place is. The Bears have finally reached this place. We'll talk about that next. All right, today's show is brought to you by our new presenting sponsor, Hard Rock Bet. They're a great partner. On Hard Rock Bet, you don't have to wait for week 8 to kick off to get in on the action. There's always something to bet on. If you haven't tried your first bet on Hard Rock Bet yet, there's still time for you to get $150 in bonus bets. If you win, just place a $5 bet. That's it, $5. If it hits, you not only get your winnings, but you get $150 in extra bonus bets. The NBA is back, which means it's time to shoot your shot on Hard Rock Bet. You're home for all the hoops action all season long. If you need a little help with your first bet, check out the streaks heating up inside the Hard Rock Bet Stats Hub. You can find live odds to bet on all of these streaks right in the Hard Rock Bet app. Download the Hard Rock Bet app today and make your first deposit. Well, the Bears beat the Saints. They find themselves on a winning streak. And the greatest compliment you can pay any NFL team is criticizing them when they win, because you see the talent and you see the potential and you see the sky's the limit. That's where we are with the Bears. I'll contend this top 7 or 8 roster. It's like when your dad used to say, you're better than that, right? Like Chicago and Ben Johnson has figured this out very quickly. This is a run game, takeaway defense. That's the identity. It's not Caleb Williams. And he sees it and he knows it. He's asking less and less. Diplomatically, I'll be diplomatic. The passing game is a work in progress. I mean, Ben Johnson's resting face watching Caleb Williams is discouraged. So he sees the truth. This is not a team that can win by shootout, having to throw the ball. It's not a team that can fall behind and come flying back like a Denver. They can't. This is all about the run game. It's all about takeaways defensively. Remember, this team, and we said it at the time, when they went out and got Drew Dahlman, the center from Atlanta, I would have people come up to me in Chicago. What do you think about him? I said, they're going to have one of the best center guard combos in the league. Joe Tooney, Drew Dahlman, Jonah Jackson. And an offensive line, veteran offensive linemen don't play in the preseason. So it was going to be a turbulent September. We're in October now, and that O-line has meshed. That is big boy guard, center guard. There are huge holes the last 3 weeks. Big, giant holes between the tackles, outside the tackles. So Ben has figured it out. He's discouraged with the passing game. You can see his body language. This is going to be a run game, control the clock. And here's the other thing. I mean, it's not like Ben Johnson's Ben Franklin. They're not inventing electricity here. It's basic stuff. They can actually now take a lead and score in the first quarter. It's not revolutionary. It's what the Chiefs and the Rams and the good teams do. They score in the first quarter. And they also have cut Caleb Williams' sacks in half because they get the ball out of Caleb's hands. I mean, this team, they are now in the last couple of weeks, they're top 3 in the league in yards after catch. Their skill's excellent. Roma Dunze, Luther Burden, Colston Loveland, DeAndre Swift, DJ Moore. They got dudes. This is a lot closer to the Kansas City Chiefs than it is the Panthers. They've got dudes. They got to get that ball out of Caleb's hands and let those guys do the work. Because the passing game with Caleb, I've been on this for weeks. He may just never be a really super accurate guy. It may be a Cam Newton thing. And he's spectacular, and he's an emotional player that gets into streaks. He can make all the throws, But he's not going to be a guy that gives you 13 straight completions. That's just not his game. And in Caleb's career, high school, college, and last year, he was the star of the show. He is a supporting actor now. For the record, you can win an Oscar for that, right? You can win an Oscar for a supporting actor, but he's a supporting actor. This is about the run game. The coaching is excellent. Again, Ben Johnson has identified it doesn't take that long to figure out a quarterback's strengths and weaknesses. Caleb's got a jet engine for an arm. He is a great runner, does a little too much hero ball, struggles a little to play within structure, not super accurate, but run game, defense, aggressiveness, takeaway, self-identity. It's a good football team. And the greatest thing you can say about him is they're winning and we're all criticizing it because you see how much talent there is. You can see the talent. They got dudes everywhere. Here's Ben on his offense after beating the Saints.
Yeah, up and down. So that's what we've looked like. We haven't hit our stride yet offensively. We're capable of a lot more. We have very talented individuals. I feel strongly in our coaching staff. But we're not complimenting our defense on a regular basis. With the number of turnovers we've had over the last 4 games, we should be able to turn those into more points.
Now, let me defend Caleb Williams on this. Spencer Rattler was trying to prove how special he was and kept throwing picks. Caleb Williams last year, with a bad staff and a terrible O-line, only threw 6 picks. Caleb doesn't turn the ball over a ton, at least not throwing interceptions. He doesn't. He never has. He didn't do it at USC. He didn't do it last year. He's not doing it this year. He can have fumble issues. That'll drive you nuts. But he's not stubborn. He's not rigid. You watch some of these young quarterbacks and they just refuse. Spencer Rattler's like, bro, you're trying way too hard to show off. You're trying to better Caleb Williams. You're not. Caleb doesn't throw. He doesn't make the big mistakes. It's just operationally the ball hits the carpet. It's a little bit of Trevor Lawrence. You can see the talent. But Trevor Lawrence is probably never just going to be as good as I thought he was. And I look at Caleb Williams. I see the talent. I see the horsepower. But the ball hits the carpet too much. A miss on too many easy ones. A couple of layups you got to hit. But they're winning. And we're criticizing him, and their coach doesn't love it. When you can go on 4-game winning streaks and the coach is really not smiling in the post-game press conference, that tells you how much talent they have. I'll argue all day long. This is a really good roster. I said this about Denver last year when Denver made the playoffs. I said, you guys aren't paying attention. I said this about Indianapolis 2 years ago. I said, the Colts need a quarterback. Denver's got to get rid of Russell Wilson. They need a quarterback. Chicago's roster, 7 to 8 really special players. Just get them the ball quickly, cut down the sacks, let them make their moves. J-Mac with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
All right, Colin, from your Bears to a real contender, the Indianapolis Colts. Yes, we're actually allowed to talk about them on the show now.
Wow.
You've been pushing for it for a while. Here we go. The Colts dominate the Chargers. I had a terrible read here on this game. Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor, just unbelievable. Jonathan Taylor, over 100 total yards, 3 touchdowns. Colin, this guy is the best back in the league right now, and Shane Steichen said as much afterward.
I think he's the best. He's the best back in the league right now. There's no doubt. And I think it starts with our guys up front. He's running hard. He's running physical. He's got great vision. He's balling out right now.
This is a really, really good roster, and here's what it proves. If you get an offensive coach and even a B-level quarterback, I mean, I said this last year, and I said it this year. It's not a roster issue. A year ago, everybody wanted Chris Ballard gone, and I'm like, he's hitting on his draft picks. Taylor, Warren, Pittman, Pierce. This O-line, maybe it's not Philadelphia or Detroit, But this O-line is controlling. You know, this is the number one offense in the league right now.
Well, some of that is schedule related, Colin. I mean, they beat up on a lot of bad teams. I look on the schedule. They're 14-point favorites against Tennessee this week. I think they have the Savannah Bananas up after that. Like, they're playing a bunch of jokers. Chargers are not jokers. They're just beat up. And listen, Colts scored on 6 of their first 7 possessions yesterday.
They are the most efficient offense. They're not uneven. They score early. They score late. They score but before the half. This is and again, this goes and proves. Everybody wanted Ballard gone and might take his guys. You can't win with Anthony Richardson completing 47% of his throws. You don't need a great quarterback. Daniel Jones is a talented kid, kind of an Alex Smith feel, where there is a ceiling, but you can win a bunch of. Alex Smith made the playoffs several times. Alex Smith is smart. He's good. He's accurate. He can move. This is a really dangerous team.
So, Colin, I'm sorry to bring up the Jets this early in the show, but there is a parallel with the Colts and the Jets. Hear me out. So the Colts drafted Anthony Richardson high, right? And he looked like a bust. But they quickly pivoted off him, your move, when it's not working, pivot to Daniel Jones.
That's right.
My Jets drafted Zach Wilson. They tried to make it happen. It didn't. They pivoted to Aaron Rodgers, colossal failure. Quickly, let's reboot again to Justin Fields, terrible failure. And now they're 0-7. The Colts and your guy Ballard, I know you guys have a lengthy history. He did whiff on a high pick, but he fixed things quickly.
Well, because the late Jim Irsay wanted Carson Wentz gone off a very good year because he lost to the Jags. And so from that point forward, basically Ballard was bailing water. He goes and gets Phillip Rivers, who was actually great in his last year. I get Matt Ryan because Phillip wanted to retire. And then I get Anthony Richardson. This league is so brutal on GMs. I mean, let's be honest. If the Niners don't find Brock Purdy in the last spot in the league, John Lynch could be in trouble because they whiffed on Trey Lance, but they found Brock Purdy. So the truth is, no GM or head coach they all look clueless, regardless of how good they are when the quarterback plays bad. You watch Brian Daboll right now with the Giants. You can't fire him. He's tied to Jackson Dart. You can't get rid of Brian Daboll. So every GM, I mean, even the Giants GM now, I'm watching them yesterday against Denver, and I'm like, that 5th-round draft pick's actually pretty good.
Let's not go overboard. But on the Colts, the big unlock to me has been Tyler Warren. Colin, he is such a chess piece. I know we loved Brock Bowers last year. I know there's going to be a bit of a hot take. I think Tyler Warren's more valuable. You can line him up in the backfield, split him wide in the slot on the line, and nobody can really guard this guy so far.
Awesome talent. I watched him make 17 catches against USC at the Coliseum last year. I'm not sure I've ever seen a college player. It's like, I don't know how he transitions to the NFL, but that works on Sundays. He's just he's a Pro Bowler today. He's a rookie Pro Bowler today.
Real quick on your calendar, November 23rd, right? It's the week before Thanksgiving. Colts Chiefs. And I'm not even joking. That's like a real game. Colts Chiefs is going to be good because Shane Steichen right now is what he did to Jesse Minter, who's one of the better defensive minds in the league. Colin.
This Colts offensive line, guys, nobody's talking about it. It is controlling.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't they play Denver earlier this year? And Denver struggled. Didn't they play Denver earlier this year?
At home, yeah.
And Denver struggled to get to Daniel Jones. That was when I was like, oh, wow, this is a real thing.
It's a real team. All right, let's move on to the New England Patriots. If you want to do a victory lap, go for it, big guy. Your guy, Drake May. Actually, it was my guy dating back to the draft. 21 of 23 for Drake May. I mean, he was phenomenal. The Titans kind of imploded. Cam Ward had another disastrous fumble. But the story here is the Patriots. We talked about it last week. This team will have a shot at the number 1 seed. Okay, they are starting to round into form. And, Colin, I don't know what to say about Drake May here. Jaden Daniels was the toast of the town last season, right? As a rookie.
Well, we
Drake
know,
May looks better than him right now.
I was talking to my buddy John Middlecoff last night, and he reminded me that there were stories that the Vikings tried to get Drake May. That's what they really wanted. Everybody I talked to liked Drake May, but like Jaden Daniels last year got much better, much faster than we thought. I don't think anybody thought Drake May would be this good this quickly. He had a really bad pick against the Steelers, and that's going to happen. I'm telling you, man, his last 50 throws, he is a Pro Bowl level quarterback. It sounds ridiculous, but we watched Jaden Daniels last year, and everybody kept waiting for the surge to end.
Yeah.
I'm watching every snap and every throw of Drake May. He doesn't have bad throws. Now,
yeah.
he doesn't slide. Like, bro, he went to the tent. He's gone to the tent like 5 times this year. Like, learn to slide and get down.
I'll just add one more thing. I made fun of the Colts schedule. Listen, the Patriots have beat up a lot of bad defenses, okay? Carolina stinks. Pittsburgh can't stop a nosebleed. Buffalo's terrible defensively. Saints are not great defensively. They're okay at home. Tennessee was bad. Again, the schedule. Now, the Cleveland Browns at home are lights out. I think this week the Patriots could put it on them at home. I'm just telling you, look at the schedule. Okay, Falcons outdoors. We saw last night, Falcons outdoors are not that great. This Patriots team is dangerous.
This Patriots team beat Buffalo in Buffalo. It was not a fluke. They are a better football team right now than the Buffalo Bills. I don't think there's any question. You and I watched that game. They were the better team.
They were. Yeah, final story, Colin. Let's go to a negative story here, and that's the Miami Dolphins. The one game that we gave out that was a stone cold lock.
Of the year.
The Browns. Holy hell, they just destroyed Tua and the Dolphins 31-6. Now, listen. I'm not going to sit out here ripping Tua. He was bad. I expected this, right? No Tyreek Hill. Go outdoors against a feisty defense. I didn't expect 3 interceptions.
He also threw about a half dozen hospital balls. I've never seen a quarterback less interested in taking snaps in my life. Yeah. I mean, I thought Tua just wanted to get out of there.
Well, he was talking about leadership last week and guys not showing up, and now it came back. And anyway, here's Mike McDaniel, the embattled head coach. I haven't checked social media. Has he been fired this hour? I don't know. Anyways, here's McDaniel on Tua and starting.
Guys need to be professionals. Guys need to step up to the plate. And every person, on our team, if you're saying it's not me, it's you. You're just not going to win games. And our team, we say we want to win games, so we have to do the things necessary to win games. Until that happens, we will lose games.
Nothing works there. GM, head coach, quarterback, it's been fun. I never got the extension to Tua. I thought it was ridiculous. So, it's I just thought yesterday was the tipping point. It looked like Tua did not want to be on the field. He was throwing the ball and ducking away from the punishment.
They traveled to Atlanta. Now, that was where I believe the Tua story was born. Remember, Jalen Hurts benched in the SEC title game. Tua comes on. Maybe he reinvigorates his career. I'll go with I don't think so. But this could be it for Mike McDaniel. Here's my thing. Can Tua rehab his career the way Daniel Jones did, the way Baker did, the way Darnold
I think
did?
They can get rid of him if they eat. Like Miami's going to get a top 5 pick. They're going to get a quarterback. And so they're going to try to move Tua, maybe get a 6th-round pick if somebody will take a little bit of the contract, but it doesn't matter. As Sean Payton proved in Denver, you can win in this league. You can make the playoffs with a dead cap hit. Yeah. I mean, they're still paying for Russell Wilson in Denver. Look at their roster. Does it look like they can't afford guys? But I think Denver's got a better GM and a better coach. So Miami doesn't have the right GM. They don't have the right coach. They don't have the right quarterback. But I would absolutely, if I was a warm weather team and I was in transition, I'd give you a 6th-round pick for Tua and eat a little bit of his. I think he's a professional quarterback. He needs an O-line. And Miami has never built him a satisfactory O-line, which is an indictment. If you have certain guys in this league, like Bryce Young, you have to have a good O-line. You don't with Josh Allen, though they do. With Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert can literally win games with a terrible O-line, ravaged by injuries. If you have Tua, your job as a GM is to protect him. Yeah. And they haven't, ever.
So there is a team, we haven't talked about them yet, who had Carson Wentz he was awful yesterday, and you don't believe in J.J. McCarthy. I got a buddy floating me a name for the Vikings, and now you're talking Tua.
I want Tua.
Kevin O'Connell can do anything.
In a northern division.
Well, in a dome. Everybody's got a dome. Chicago's getting a dome soon, right? Packers are outdoors, but it's a tough one.
No thanks. J-Mac with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
Colin right, Colin wrong, top of next hour. And, yesterday's late window was crazy. I want to get into this. The precise reason you get Micah Parsons was yesterday. And I'll talk about that next for Green Bay. That was the game. That was the reason. You don't play particularly well. You don't lead until late. And it's like, we need our Mariano Rivera. We need our closer. That game exemplified and illustrated exactly why you get Micah Parsons. We'll talk about that, the Cowboys, the Eagles, Colin right, Colin wrong. We were talking about this morning. What if Mariano Rivera, the great closer, had played for like a small market team for years and years? You wouldn't really know much about him. I mean, I'm sure a great team would have eventually found him. But closers, a lot of them don't make the Hall of Fame, right? But what made Mariano Rivera great was the opportunity to be great. His teams had leads, and the games meant a lot. And that's why Green Bay, that has a Super Bowl roster right now, needed to go get a closer. And Micah Parsons yesterday, 4 tackles for losses, 3 sacks, a couple in the fourth. He is their closer. He's their Mariano. It's much more valuable on a Super Bowl roster closing games. When you have an excellent offensive coach and a top 10, 12 quarterback like Jordan Love, you're going to lead 90, 80% of your games in the fourth quarter. How do you finish them off? Right? Offensive lines are always banged up. Maybe your run game sputtering. You finish it off sometimes not having the ball. And you finish it off with the closer, the drive stopper. And that's why I said when Dallas traded Micah, Dallas isn't as good. Dallas needed flexibility and picks and more good players. I mean, Dallas can't stop anybody. So Micah, a lot of your skill is wasted. Your team trails by 10 points in the fourth quarter. Green Bay's the opposite. So this was one of those trades that worked for both teams. Green Bay needs a stopper now. Dallas, over the next year, they need more elite players and not expensive ones. They're paying CeeDee Lamb a fortune. They're paying Dak a fortune. And they're probably going to end up paying George Pickens a lot of money. And they're paying their corners. So Dallas has to hit on a couple of first-round picks and second-round picks. Green Bay's already got that. They're loaded at receiver and tight end. They've got their star running back. They've got their quarterback. They had the roster. I mean, they were good despite giving up Kenny Clark to Dallas. So that this worked for both teams. But yesterday was exactly why you get Micah. You go on the road. It's a tough matchup. I told you Friday. I said, Arizona, Green Bay is going to win it. Take the points. It's going to be close. Arizona loses close more often, it seems like, the last 3 years than anybody in the league. And Jacoby Brissett was comfortable early in the game. At one point, he completed, 14 straight throws. But when you needed, you led 2-1 entering the ninth. Here came Micah, and that's why you got him. That's why the trade was smart by Green Bay, but I understood it from Dallas's standpoint. I get it. They need more good players like Green Bay. Green Bay's got that. They needed one game record, and here was Jordan Love after the win.
Man, it's amazing. I think I can't state enough how fun it is just to have him on this team, and how much of a playmaker he is. In big situations like that, having 3 sacks on the day is big time.
So for years and years, everybody used to tell me how great Dak Prescott was. And as they're hammering the Commanders yesterday, I'm thinking, and I was always like, he's got the best O-line. He's got Zeke. I'm like, he's a very, very good B+ quarterback. I saw this morning he's 9th in MVP voting, or 9th in MVP odds. That's insane. He's got to be near the top. I always thought he was the classic sort of high floor, low ceiling quarterback, right? Like Kirk Cousins with a star in his helmet. He's going to get you to 10 wins. But the fact that he's 9th, in his last 4 games, he's thrown for over 1,000 yards. He can only win one way, and everybody knows it. He's got 14 touchdowns and no picks. He is on a heat. And George Pickens was a talented highlight guy. Now he's a drama-free, talented production guy. Do not understate how Dak Prescott has soothed and lowered the temperature on George Pickens. George Pickens was like, most of the league had no interest. He's now maybe the best number 2 receiver in the league. So the Cowboys did what real Cowboys do, find a prize winner that had been put out to pasture. And they did it, and it's delivered, and give Brian Schottenheimer credit, because the run game, Javonte Williams, looks like the Denver Javonte Williams. The offensive line is still in a rebuild. This is not a great offensive line, but I'm watching Dak yesterday. He's taken so many snaps from high school to Mississippi State to Dallas. He is so composed in the pocket. He doesn't get frenetic. Yesterday, that pocket, because the O-line for Dallas right now is mid. It's okay. It's not Detroit. It's not Denver. It's not the Colts. Maybe it's better than the Chargers and their injuries. It's not a great O-line right now. So he faces real pressure all the time. And, I mean, I thought Jaden Daniels yesterday looked small compared to Dak. I really did. I thought Jaden looked small. The Cowboys pass blocking, folks, is rated 30th. So this is closer to a Charger O-line than it is a Denver O-line. And Dak was big and in control. Here's Jerry Jones after.
Is Dak Prescott the MVP of the league right now?
Well, he's mine, and he should be Cowboy fans. And he gives us a tremendous opportunity. And this team is really following him. And this team can play against the league competition, just like you saw today. Can play that way, and it can get better.
For the record, he is 9th in MVP odds, and I constructed my own Mount Passmore of the 4 guys who should be leading in terms of odds, and it should be Baker and Mahomes and Dak and Stafford. That's my Mount Passmore. You can have Mount Rushmore. These guys have separated, and there's a lot of good quarterbacks in this league. I think what Herbert's doing, considering the beating he's taken, is incredibly admirable. Again, I think what Bo Nix did in the fourth quarter, I think Josh Allen once again feels like he's got to carry that offense. Dak's having a year. I mean, when you watched that game yesterday, did you not think the best quarterback on the field was Dak? And Jaden Daniels last year had the best rookie year for a quarterback in the game's history. So, and I, for a long time, I was always like Dak as Kirk Cousins with better mobility and more famous. I think Dak's playing out of his mind. Out of his mind. And, this is what's great about this league. The New York Giants, before Jackson Dart took over, I mean, it literally felt like a hapless organization. Get rid of Daboll, Joe Shane, owner doesn't know what he's doing, the personnel's horrible, and leading 19-0 in Denver, you're like, this is a real team. It is amazing. For years and years, we've talked about this. I think quarterback is the highest paid position in the sport. It's underpaid. Look at what just Jackson Dart with almost no pro experience has done to the Giants. You this morning feel different about the New York Giants than you did a month ago. Same roster. Schedule has been tough. Denver, Russell Wilson, dead cap hell, felt like you were a decade from being a contender. I mean, Denver hits on the quarterback. Suddenly the dead cap money doesn't affect you. I mean, it is outside of Green Bay, who always gets the quarterback right. Everybody else struggles and misses. San Francisco, Trey Lance miss, Brock Purdy, find a gem. Now they got Mac Jones. I'm not sure Mac Jones. I mean, I watch Mac and Brock together. It's Mac runs a little bit more than you think he does. He a little sneaky sometimes in big, crucial situations. Mac Jones runs. But I'm watching Dak yesterday, and I'm like, there's been so many great players that have left him, the Zachs and the Tyron Smith and the Zeke and the Dez and the O-line and Micah, and they're blowing out Washington yesterday. Really, really impressive. Colin right, Colin wrong next hour. Your Niners played last night, J-Mac, and I will say Penix is a classic young quarterback. Depends on the series, depends on the half. I think with a lot of these quarterbacks, we just forget. Patrick Mahomes admitted the light went on year 3. He ran around for years. He had great coaching. So I watch Penix or Bo Nix or Jackson Dart, and my takeaway is this is what it looks like. Almost my first semester in college when I went on academic probation, I didn't know how to study. I had good tests and bad tests. I didn't really know how to study because I didn't have to in high school. I feel like that with all these young quarterbacks. They have C.J. Stroud has had really bad stretches and then incredible games. He plays tonight in Seattle. I think Houston's going to give Seattle trouble. So there you go.
Yeah, it's interesting. On my podcast, I compared basically Atlanta to like a Miami Dolphins. Specific settings, warm weather for Miami, they're great. They look like a track team. Guess what? In a dome, Colin, Atlanta looks awesome.
Yeah.
You remember that game against Minnesota? The edge rushers are flying around.
Yep.
Bijan Robinson, they're great indoors. You take him off that fast track. Bijan Robinson, Monday Night Football, looked like the best back in the league. He had like 40 yards last night against the Niners defense missing everybody. So I can't totally take Atlanta seriously because if they're outdoors, they're not going to do much.
No, so we have 2 Monday night games tonight. Houston's at Seattle. My prediction, very low scoring and very close, possible upset. This is a matchup where Houston matches up with Seattle. I think it's really, really low scoring, 2017. And then we have Detroit off an ugly win in a bad mood. They're a great home team against Baker and the Bucs. I do like Detroit there. That could be one of the games of the weekend.
I need Detroit to avoid a 1-4. How did the herd hierarchy do, Bate?
The Blazing Five went 3-1, and we have Detroit and the cover tonight.
Yeah, so we both need Detroit. Yes. Oh, Blazing Five starting to cook with a little gas, huh?
We were 4-1 last week. We're 3-1. We had the Cowboy Commander over. We had Arizona in the points. We had the Cleveland Browns, and that's the last time I'm betting them for the season.